Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Elden Ring. My name is Cowdog. This is episode 14? Double check that real quick. Yes, episode 14 of the complete Sorcery playthrough. We are into the Deeproot depths, which are past the Valiant Gargoyles fight in the Chiefra Upper Spirit Horn Hunting Grounds. Probably easier just to show you on the map. So, once you have cleared out Nokron after defeating General Radon, you can head up here, and then just right here past the Aqueduct facing grounds, there's a little bit of running when you fight the Valiant Gargoyles. There is a shortcut afterwards, which will send you right here to the Deeproot Depths. So, currently level 90. Academy Glintstone Staff level 20 is still our best option, although now with 51 base intelligence, once we suck down that Wondrous Physic, that will take us to 61, and we can equip and use, somewhere here, the Carrion Regal Scepter, which requires 60 intelligence. Now, before I go ahead and equip that and get that ready for any boss fights, I do need to collect some Somber Stones, because right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. So if I can get level 7 here in the Deeproot Depths later on, I can take that all the way to level 9. That will make a very, very powerful weapon for our spellcasting. Offhand, Serpent God's Curved Sword, that is just to make up for any chip damage that's taken. That gives you health back on kills. I swap to that as needed. Offhand, Staff of Loss gives a passive boost to Night Comet, as we have seen many, many times throughout the game. Armor is still the same. Tree Sentinel is the best we've got right now. Ritual Sword, Magic Scorpion, and Radagon Icon for faster casting speed. So, right off the bat, we got ourselves a avatar here. We've fought these dudes many, 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 many times at this point, so you should not be faced with any challenges dealing with these guys. He does have quite a few hit points. You can use Torrent here, which is recommended, especially when the laser beams come out. Just run in a circle around them. You should not be hit at all. These guys don't have any attacks for range other than the lasers, so you can just easily stay out of their reach and shoot them with Night Comet. Now, there are cliffs nearby here on one side, so there is a small risk that if you're not paying attention, you could ride right off the edge, right here, and fall to your death. Okay. A couple of ants. By the way, fair warning, if you do have a phobia for spider or large insects, there are numerous wasps and large ants in this zone, so be warned if you want to skip past this. There is nothing super, super critical until the very, very end, where we have the final stage of Fia's quest, but at that point there won't be any bugs. So, alright. We have a Scarab here with Golden Land. This drops that area of effect on the ground and does you a small heal over time while you stand in it. The map fragment is not obtained until a little ways up here, so unfortunately it does not help much to show you where I am on the map. As mentioned at the very end of the last video, several of these routes go all the way up. Let's see if I can find it. All the way up to the capital. You cannot actually reach everything from down below. There are a couple of items that are only obtainable if you come at the Deeproot Depths from the capital sewers entrance past a couple of boss fights. So keep that in mind. You may see some items that you're not actually able to reach. Alright, Smithing Stone 6. Our way across is right here. There are a couple of items along the way. Now there's the bugs I mentioned earlier. Let's see. So what we want to do is not to try to jump across. We want to actually go into that cave entrance right there. So a little bit of parkour, a little bit of platforming, Fortunately, we do have Torrent that gives us that double jump, so this should make things a little bit easier. These caves are full of ants. They are very, very easy to kill with Night Comet. Keep in mind there may be insects on the ceiling as well, so just be aware that there are many, many bugs in here. However, there are also a lot of runes to be obtained. Every time you pop one of those large things, you'll get a Newman's Rune and a Rune Arc, so this is a very, very lucrative section of the game. So unfortunately, if you do have that problem with insects, you're going to miss out on some free experience points. Okay, some of these are not targetable until they drop down from the ceiling. Fortunately, we can just sit up above like this and nuke them from complete safety. Well, not, I guess, complete safety. They do spit crap at you. They appear to spam it, which is not fun. And the angle on this one is a little bit annoying, so I'm going to head over here. There we go. Alright. A couple more dropping down from the ceiling. If you are doing a melee build and you're not using spells, you can actually do this same tactic using a great bow. The ants do suffer extra damage from headshots, so you can use that to your advantage. I do highly recommend that all builds have at least some ranged option available to them. If you do only melee, things get significantly more difficult. If I get both of these with one spellcast. Nice. Okay, and recharge on the flasks at the end is always nice. Okay, and this takes us to a legendary spell. I believe it is Founding Stars? Elden Stars, one of the two. Take out these wasps or flying ants before they have a chance to get into the air. Things will be much, much easier for you. Taking them out before you do the parkour also is highly, highly recommended. May not be able to reach them from here, so let's go ahead and get on Torrent and use the roots. Actually, I don't even think I need to fight those guys at all. There's nothing over there worthwhile. So anytime you find yourself on a cliff or a platform and fighting is an option that you do not have to do, I recommend that you definitely avoid it. Unless you don't care about falling off very, very high objects to your death. More smithing stones. Okay, so on the flat ground here, there are, just on the other side of these roots, if I remember right, several more bugs. You can run past all of these if you really want to. There is a site of grace on the far side. Although if you're not familiar with exactly where it is, you may miss it. So I do recommend taking everything out first, just in case. Using fully charged Night Comets here will guarantee a kill. These guys do have just enough hit points to where if you already have their attention, A regular cast may not take them out, like so. Okay. Runes, some smithing stones. More ants on the ground this time. Roots that don't go anywhere, so don't think about platforming over there. Butterflies. Okay, so here's our site of grace. This is one of the lost city of the Nox that was destroyed when Astel was sent to punish them by the Greater Will. And as you can see, the finger reader Crone, she mentions Godwyn. This is the final resting place of the original body of Godwyn. This is up in the roots beneath the Erd tree. As you can see, we are almost directly beneath it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and rest at the site of grace just to reset all of the potions. Now the map fragment, for whatever reason, is not shown anywhere on the map, but it's a little bit obvious if you are paying attention. What you want to do is follow along the edge of the wall here. And you can see how these roots create kind of a passageway, and the water also. So this is a path that will lead you straight to the map fragment. There are a couple of enemies along the way, these gargoyles that spit perfume or fire that will slowly come towards you. It does have deceptively long range though, so keep that in mind. You do want to not be hit by this. And we'll be encountering a bunch of these up on the roots later on when we're platforming up to the boss fight. So those are annoying because they do damage and they knock you back. Okay, the map, Deeproot depths. So we started down all the way over here at the Great Waterfall Crest. We made our way across the roots through the caves here. We fought those ants right here. And the rest of the zone is up here. This big area, this is actually the boss area, so the rest of this city is where we're going to be spending most of our time here, killing stuff and collecting loot. Alright, so the buildings oftentimes have loot on top of them. Figuring out how to get on top of them is a little tricky if you don't know what to look for. The easiest way is to start over here on the left and just follow the edge of the water. These guys are a little bit annoying. Sometimes they will teleport, take off the horse. That way they fall on the ground and give you some extra opportunity to shoot them before they stand back up. Okay, so we've got this kind of submerged graveyard, lots of runes, smithing stones, that sort of thing, all kinds of good stuff. There should be another site of grace here somewhere. This particular coffin is a transporter. This will actually take you to the same area that is the next stage of Ranni's quest. If you remember, in Ranni's Rise, or Renna's Rise, sorry, there's a teleporter in this tower that will take you to an area. This coffin takes you to the exact same place. So you do not actually have to do Ranni's quest to reach that part of the Lake of Rot and the Astel fight and all that stuff. Okay, so let's see, where is that site of grace? Should be here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so we cleared out and got all those runes there. I'm going to head down. There's a spirit spring that will send me to the top of this building. There's a Crucible Knight fight right here in this tree with some loot. We'll do that next. And be aware, as you head down into this area, this section of roots has a lot, and I do mean a lot, of knights with great bows. They will snipe you off of your horse. They will do lots of damage. They will knock you down. Just all in all, pretty annoying. So just try to stay away from it until you are fully prepared. Inside this building, we do want a piece of loot from here. Try to get these guys before they actually aggro on you. They do that annoying crap where the ghosts will teleport once they see you casting a spell. These guys especially. They have shields and they can teleport like that, so it may be easier just to switch to Slicer, fight them in melee. Like so. If I remember right, this is Phantom Slash for polearms. Oh, number's 7. Okay, perfect. That's the item we wanted for our Arian Regal Scepter. Okay, so here's our Crucible Knight. This is Crucible Knight Siluria. Anytime you have a Crucible Knight that does not have a shield, it's a little bit easier. Now, keep in mind, this is a named boss. The damage she does is ridiculous, so don't let her hit you. You can help it. So, not too bad. Should drop Siluria's Spear, or Siluria's Tree, the Great Spear. Go. Very excellent strength-based Great Spear. Ash of War does that ranged bolt attack. And we also have the Crucible Tree Helm along with the Crucible Knight Armor set. It's our second set. So the first one we got in the Capital Outskirts. They are slightly different as far as appearance. One has a chainmail skirt, the other has more of a traditional cloth thing on it. The shoulders are also slightly different. So each one of those pieces of Crucible armor does give you a very slight bonus to incantation damage. Okay, so we next want to head up these routes to get on top of this building here. We also want to eventually reach this building, and there is a walking mausoleum that we can only reach by going along the routes. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. The hard way is to fight your way through all of these dudes here. The easier way is I believe, we can just use the Spirit Spring. Not this one. Although we do want to get up here. Grab this item. Trying to remember. I think there's another... No, I'm mistaking it for a different area. So what we want to do is to not actually try to fight our way through. We're going to go ahead and go around as many enemies as we can, because up on the routes, as I mentioned, there are knights with great bows that will shoot at you while you are trying to navigate this garbage. As you can see, there's also basilisks, which will be equally as annoying. You do not want to get death blighted while trying to parkour. Okay, you can see he's already shooting at me from over there. So, down to the end. I think there's nothing here. There's one piece of loot somewhere. We can just jump across here. Yeah, see, there's one shooting at me from below as well. So you don't want to sit here and fight. You just want to grab the loot and go. Standard method of clearing the mausoleum is to kill all the skulls. Most of the ghostly soldiers and knights should disappear afterwards. There may be a couple of knights left once we're done. One more. Okay. So, now that they're all clear, and if we can get Torrent to do his job. Another Somber Stone 6. They give you a lot of those for some reason. Okay, so now we can head back up to the roots. And not have to deal with most of the annoying parts. That didn't do what I wanted it to. Second Somber 7, so if you needed a second weapon upgraded. I'll probably use that to upgrade Lusat's staff. Alright. Where is the building I'm looking for? There it is. So, as you can see, activating the mausoleum has caused the knight to disappear, making obtaining this item much, much easier. So, that's all of the roots clear. Next, we're going to head down. I believe there's a cave right here. It has a rune bear in it. Be careful when jumping down off of this building, by the way. You can die from falling damage if you're not completely careful. And honestly, it's probably easier just to go back to the site of grace. Alright, where is that cave? Here we go. So, this rune bear is guarding yet another Somber 7, if I remember right. Rune bears are always a little bit dangerous. Lots of hit points, of course. Lots of rushing attacks with bad hitboxes. Off. And I'm fighting the camera now, too. Okay. Yep, there's Somber 7 again. And can't remember, but I think... Nope. There's another waterfall later on where there are items behind it. Okay, so that part is done. Next up, we're going to navigate all of these root areas. There's a lot of parkour. There's lots of gargoyles who will spit fire at you. Again, Sorcery has a little bit of an advantage here because we can actually take things out from range effectively. whereas melee builds will need to get past the fire attacks to actually reach the target to kill them in melee. So I recommend that you actually run past before trying to fight the gargoyles. You can get behind them, they will not shoot at you. And then once they're dead, that's when you go to collect the loot afterwards. These guys do respawn if you rest at a site of grace, so keep that in mind. Here we have the Prince of Death staff. This is actually the best casting staff in the game, but it requires a very extremely high combination of both intelligence and faith. I believe you need at least 62 or 63 in each before it actually will surpass a maximum upgraded Carrion Regal or Lusat staff. But it does become extremely powerful for New Game Plus. Okay, so all of the loot... Actually, I think there's one more item down here. So, you do not have to fight this Rune Bear right away. I'll show you how to actually fight him a little bit smarter later on. It looks like I aggroed him though, so maybe I can get him to fight the basilisks here. That would be hilarious. Oh yeah. Nice. Be very, very careful through here. There are probably 7 or 8 of these. They're all going to be spitting death blight at you at the same time as a Rune Bear. So this is a little bit of a chaos factory. It may be easier for me to just run away since I've got the loot. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so up above was where we got the Prince of Death staff. We're going to go right this time, further up, and as you can see there are several gargoyles up there. We are not going to stop to get the loot. Instead, we'll jump up here. And simply take out these guys from above. One there. Where's that other one? There it is. It's probably actually a better idea to go all the way up. There is a site of grace at the very top of the roots. That pathway... Actually, why don't I go ahead and show you that now. So you want to actually go over there. So don't try to jump from here. We need to head up where I just was. And then jump down. This will auto-dismount you, so just be careful. But we can just head back over onto the roots, and Torrent will become available again. I think I've gotten all of the loot from the roots, except for one item. right here. Okay. So, I believe... No, I didn't get the Phantom slash Ash of War. It's in one of these large mausoleum buildings. I believe it's this one right here. So let's head down. And there's a gargoyle inside. She'd be able to just blow him up if I don't miss from being out of range. There we go. Vacuum Slice, not Phantom Slash. Okay. So, that's all of the routes. Pretty much all that's left is this upper area here, and then the boss fight. So I'll show you this part first. There's not really anything super dangerous. You have to get there from the routes, so go back this way, activate Torrent, jump across to this building. So now be careful through here. Sometimes it's very easy to miss, but there's a giant hole here that you can fall down. There is a rune bear at the bottom, so even if you survive the fall, you're in for a little bit of a fight. A couple of ants. Oh, he did not die because he's got a giant shield face. Okay, so down this hole, there's that rune bear behind the waterfall. This is exactly the same of a drop as when you're inside mining caves. So just stick to the walls, the walkways on the outer side of the wall. Crafting materials. Yet another Somber Stone 7. And then the rune bear. Now you do want to kill this guy because he does have a talisman that adds a lot of resistance to Death Blight buildup. Rune bears cannot climb walls, so makes killing this guy very easy. Okay. There's that Prince of Death's Cyst. This is the upgraded version of the Prince of Death. What is it called? Where is it? Somewhere here? This Prince of Death's Pustule adds 200 roughly vitality. This one adds roughly 300, so that's a lot of resistance to Deathblight. This will come in very useful in the DLC. So you do want to get it. Alright, that's all of Deeproot Depths except for the boss fight, so I'll go ahead and show you that next. The boss fight involves fighting NPCs, so be prepared. There's going to be a lot of auto-dodging and weirdness. Now, if I remember right, the way that this fight works, if you're offline, you get a default set of enemies to fight. However, if you're playing online, what happens is that whenever somebody does this fight, or I believe the Great Jar Warrior fight, or something like that, the game will actually take a snapshot of your build, and then randomly these FIA's champions will end up using those builds rather than the default guys. There's still, I believe, Rogier shows up here, and Lionel shows up, but the backup fighters will use those player-made builds. So you may run into some really bizarre combatants, guys with lots of rivers of blood, spell spamming, you know, whatever meta build happens to be in popular use at the time. So I recommend do this fight offline. Much easier. Very, very predictable. You're still going to end up having to fight one guy, then Rajir, then 3 guys. So a little bit of an endurance fight. If you are struggling even more, then go and upgrade either that Carrion Regal Scepter or Lusat's Staff first before doing this fight. Your upgraded damage will help tremendously. Although, still pretty much overwhelming these guys, so really nothing too scary. This dude you do need to watch out for. If you do take a hit from those double great weapons, it will hurt a lot. Okay, not quite done. We need to talk to Fia, and then we are going to end up fighting a dragon.
I knew you. What is it to deny like the dog? I am the Gaycom, yet you...
There's going to be a little bit of resetting of the world state here in a second. You need to get her to the point where she is actually asleep, and then you can enter the dream where we will be fighting Fortisax, the death dragon. And I am going to go upgrade my staffs first before that fight, because fighting dragons always kind of sucks. Now, she does want the both halves of the curse mark of death. So if you have not yet done Rani's quest, where we go up the study hall in Rea Lucaria, you do need to do that first and get that second piece of the death mark before being able to progress into the dragon fight. This is one of the boss fights that you can miss, so make sure you do that first. They do give you a Sight of Grace, which is nice. This teleporter, once it's active, will take you right inside to the capital. This is the second way of entering the capital that I mentioned earlier. Simply resting at the Sight of Grace does not advance the quest. You actually have to fast travel for some reason. I don't know why. That's just how it's built. You may have to do this 2 or 3 times before Fia will actually go into her next step. And she has not at this point, so... it may also take quitting to the main menu. There's a bunch of different tricks you can use. Okay, let's go ahead and do that next time. Nope, I must be missing something. Maybe I need to talk to her again.
But I am side choose, and I will who will in what great.
Okay, there we go. So, now that she is actually sleeping, when you talk to her, you will have the option to enter the dream. That will start the boss fight, so if you do want to do any upgrading, do that first. Haven't been to the round table in a little while, so let's go ahead and see if there's any updates on NPCs. Everybody should be gone at this point, except for the Dung Eater Roderica, and yeah, she tells you about the Dung Eater.
Well, I took you, Mama, to lay out your own.
Alright, spellcasting staffs count as ranged weapons, so Carrion Regal Scepter. Go ahead and take that all the way up. Level 9. And Lusat's Staff, I don't think I have the 8 and 9. Yeah, I'm missing the 8. So, that's okay. We'll just use the Carrion Regal. Alright. We'll not need the Serpent God's Staff for the time being, so... Where is it? There. So, I don't meet the current requirements, but as soon as I pop the Wondrous Physic, that will give me that plus 10 to intelligence, and that will mean that I can use the Carrion Regal. And he has nothing new to say, so I think I'll talk to the Dung Eater real quick. He won't have much to say until you discover your first of the first seed bed items. The first one of those you can obtain is inside the capital, so we'll cover that in the capital video. Alright, also get my maximum hit points back. Need to use both of these. Where's the other one? The regular version and the greater version. Just gonna test out this staff real quick. Okay, so using the Academy Glintstone, we have 279 sorcery scaling with the Wondrous Physic active and that plus 9 Carrion Regal. Strangely enough, the Academy Glintstone is still 1 point better. Interesting. Okay, well then. That makes this much easier. Maybe I should have upgraded Lusats instead. Anyway, where is the Serpent God Curved Sword? Nope. Okay, let's go do the boss fight. Typical dragon fight, lots of lightning, lots of big sweeping area attacks. There is also a lightning that will occasionally down at random spots throughout the arena. You will also occasionally have a debuff put on you that will make you crackle in lightning, and then after a few seconds will actually do damage. You can roll out of that. And Death Blight, of course. But at this point, our damage versus what Fortis X has for hit points should make this fight pretty easy. So let's go ahead and get this rolling. Make sure you wait until the boss fight starts to use your Wondrous Physic, otherwise it will turn off when you do this cutscene. As usual, you probably want to target the head. It does move around quite a lot, so you're likely to miss a few hits here and there, but as you can see, the damage is pretty ridiculous. There's a big attack. You're going to want to jump into this lightning as it comes towards you. Fly up in the air, do a big sweeping attack. Gonna go twice. And goodbye, Fortis X. You were not as difficult as you should have been. So I do want to stress that this is looking, so far, every boss has been pretty easy. A lot of this is because of being correctly prepared for the fight and personal knowledge of knowing what to do. Your mileage may vary. This is why I always stress level up more, use your spirits, use your upgrades. Okay, this gives us our first Mending Rune. The other part of that is that a lot of people say sorcery is easy, probably because of videos like this. It's not the sorcery, it is unfortunately my knowledge of the game. I have over 4,000 hours in this stupid game, so that plays a factor as well. If you're following my guide, it will be easier than if you're going blind or with melee. That's simply the nature of ranged combat. So things change significantly in the DLC, so don't get crazy. Once we get to the DLC, things are going to be much harder for sorcery. Melee is arguably much easier in the DLC, so a little bit of trade-off. Just keep that in mind. Okay, Dee's brother shows up, and he has decided that he does not like Fia, and he has killed her. You can fight him, or you can simply exhaust his dialogue. teleport to the site of grace 3 feet away, and he will have left his sword and his armor, giving you the complete set. That is also the end of D's quest as well. Alright, so Deeproot Depths done and done. Go ahead and clear the markers. Next up, I think, since we've done Deeproot and we have done Ronnie's quest, why don't we go ahead and teleport to the next part of Ronnie's quest? We'll take care of that. That is the Noxtella and leading into the Lake of Rot. So you can take this coffin here, or you can fast travel to Rena's Rise up in Carrier Manor, and you can take the teleporter there. Either place will take you to the same spot. This one gives you a slightly more interesting cutscene, though. Completely unpowered, so no magic train ride like last time. Literally just falling off a waterfall in a stone coffin and hoping that you don't die. I like that the hat clips through the coffin. It's such a dumb hat. Ainsel River, Maine. So this upper part here, which is relative to Deeproot Depths, is right over here. You cannot access this. This is all just cosmetic. If you look out over here, it's just a bunch of waterfalls. And there is a bottomless pit drop here, so do not go too far into the water. As you can see up ahead, there's a site of grace. I'm going to activate that and then finish off the video. Alright, one last thing. I'm going to go ahead and activate all of those Newman runes we got off of the ants. That should take me up over 1 million runes. So, at this point, let's see, how high level can I get? Currently level 90, could be 107. So that's 17 levels. Something like almost 1 million runes for 17 levels at this point, so the gap is closing, but you should still be able to get pretty far ahead if you so chose. So hopefully you enjoyed this video for Deeproot Depths. My name has been Cowdog, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.